Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my January and February favourites. I decided not to do favourites every month because it would just make me go out and buy more stuff. So I'm doing it two in one go. And I don't actually have that many things. I've realised that I'm complete floozy when it comes to makeup. I can't stick to one thing. My favourites change every week. So these ones you can tell are good because I've been using them solidly for 2 months. And yeah, there's a lot of face products actually in here. I don't know, maybe my foundation routine has like finally been nailed this last 2 months. But yeah, so let's start with the first one, is the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I know everybody's been going on about this and I actually resisted the hype for quite a long time. I didn't want to buy it. I was like, what's so special about it? It's just a cream foundation, and yeah, I wasn't really feeling it. But I thought I'd go and try and get matched anyway. The woman in the shop matched me like immediately, which I was a bit concerned about. I thought maybe she doesn't really know what she's talking about and she just like picked one up and put it on me and was like, yeah, that's fine. And I wasn't so convinced, but I bought it anyway because I'm British and I'm awkward, and once I'd been colour matched to one, I sort of had to. So I have the shade C2, which is Rose Vanilla, because I'm really pink. It actually is a really perfect match for me. I don't think I've ever had a foundation that's matched this well, apart from the one I've bought for the wedding. Yeah, I really like it. It goes on beautifully with my next favourite, which is my Real Techniques Flawless Complexion Sponge. I mentioned this in my Christmas presents haul. I said I wasn't sure what I thought about it at that point, but now I love it. I use it basically every day. For foundation, I use the kind of flat side, and then I conceal using the pointy end. And then I clean it every day or two because it gets mucky pretty quickly. But the combination of these two is just really great. You kind of dampen this and then stipple it all over, and it just, you can build it up, but if you just put one layer on, it gives a really nice coverage, but it's still quite light coverage and it doesn't look really heavy. One thing though, when I wore this with a brush, it creased like nothing else. I've never had foundation crease here before, but it did, and it looked really gross. So I don't know what that says about it or what it says about my skin tone, but maybe just use it with this. I found that works great. If you're finding that it's creasing, maybe try it with a sponge. On the similar sort of theme, I've also been loving the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. Again, something that I refused to give into for a really long time. I was like, no, everybody loves it, it can't be that good. I am perfectly happy with all my other concealers, thank you very much. But then it was on offer, and it's so cheap anyway because it's Collection. So I bought it and I love it, and I didn't want to love it, but I do, and it's just great. It's really high coverage, so I don't use it every day. It is a little bit of a drier texture, so if you're used to really lightweight, really creamy things, like the Maybelline Age Rewind, that's really light and creamy. This is a lot thicker. So I'll only use this when I'm wearing a heavier foundation as well, so it kind of like matches up. But blending this out with the damp sponge makes it really nice consistency. It lasts all day. It doesn't really crease on me too badly actually. Yeah, so this has just become my staple in the last couple of months. And then to set that all in place, I've been using the powder from the Me Correct and Perfect Concealer Kit. It's got a solid one in the top, which is kind of pinky yellowy toned. I don't really use that. I don't like solid concealers very much. They're a little bit dry. But the powder in the bottom, which I'm not going to flip up to show you, I'll insert a close-up. Yeah, it's a really nice yellow toned powder, kind of translucent but with a tiny bit of coverage, and I find this is just really perfect for setting my under eye area, and I use it all over my face with a kind of flat topped kabuki brush as well, and just a really light dusting of this keeps everything in place, and yeah, it's really great. I haven't tried loads of things from Me, but this one I love, so I would definitely recommend you check it out. The final face product is the Kiko Golden Game Sculpting Bronzer in the shade Radiant Honey. Unfortunately this has now been discontinued, so I'm really sorry, but I'm using this as a general thing to say that Kiko do a good bronzer. It looks like that. It has a kind of orangey bronzer and then a more cool toned contour colour and a highlighter. The highlighter I don't like at all. It's really glittery, there's no other way to say that. It has visible particles of glitter, and yeah, not a fan of the highlighter at all, but This is in my favourites purely because that contour shade is perfect. It's nicely cool toned, but it doesn't look grey or muddy. The bronzer is really nice forming up my face. It suits my skin tone really nicely, and yeah, I really like it. Also, I like ones that have mirrors like this, in that kind of shape. I don't have ones like that, and you can't get your whole face in because your face is not landscape, it's portrait. That's what it means. So I like this for that. But just, if you've tried Kiko bronzers, or maybe it's powder products in general from Kiko, but if you know what I'm talking about, please comment, because it smells smoky, like a bonfire. It smells just like a bonfire. So if you've experienced this, or you know anything about it and why it smells weirdly like a bonfire, then let me know, because I love using this mirror, but it means getting my face right up in there, and the smell, oh dear, I don't really know what it is. So yeah, great bronzers, weird smell. Let me know if you've experienced anything similar. And then onto eyes, my standout favourite from this month for eyes, and for every month actually, but this is the first time I'm properly mentioning them, are the Makeup Geek eyeshadows. I love them so much. If you know Makeup Geek as a brand, then you probably love them too. Marlena, the woman behind them, is just completely wonderful, such an inspiration. She's amazing. I'm like biggest fangirl. She replied to one of my tweets once and I kind of went a little bit crazy. But she's so great, and she started her own makeup line, starting off with eyeshadows, but there's loads of things on there now, and you buy the eyeshadows separately and put them in a kit. You can buy palettes on her site, but they're really expensive. I got this one from eBay for like £3, and it's great, it works fine. It's just as good as the MAC ones, but a fraction of the price. So these are all the shadows I picked out. I'm going to do a whole video on each one, and I'm going to do a few more looks with them as well. In fact, the last eyeshadow look I did was using these, so take a look at that if you're interested. I'll link it in the down bar. But yeah, I wear these basically every day. This kind of row of neutrals along the top here, this is Peach Smoothie, Creme Brulee, Cocoa Bear and Mocha, and I use these just to create like an everyday brown smoky matte eye most days. Corrupt is the best black eyeshadow ever. And I won't keep talking about them because I'll do a whole video, but they're so good, and if you haven't tried them you should, and the international shipping is really affordable, and no one in the UK is talking about them, and they should, because they're amazing. And now I'm going to shut up. Okay. For eyeliner, you may know if you read my blog that I have a really hard time look at me, struggles, the real struggles of finding a pencil eyeliner that will stay in my waterline. I think I must have really watery eyes, this one especially. It always seems to transfer underneath this one before this one, weirdly. But I had a friend recommend the Topshop waterproof liner, and yeah, I'm really impressed. I haven't tried any others that have lasted for as long as this has. It's still not completely immovable. If I'm wearing makeup all day and I'm out in the cold, my eyes are watering, it will run a little bit. But for the most part, this is the best I've tried in a really long time. It's really black, it's creamy, you only need to go over your waterline once to get a good level of blackness on there, which is good, because who wants to go over it a million times? It just begins to get really uncomfortable. So yeah, I like this one. If you have similar issues, try it. It's good, it's cheap, it's Topshop, so you get to look at all the pretty clothes while you're in there. Yeah, it's great. Recommend, love. And then finally is the Model Co More Brows Brow Gel in the shade Medium Dark. This is an out and out dupe for the Benefit Gimme Brow. It's got one of these kind of tiny little ones like that. And I did a comparison post between this and the Gimme Brow ages ago. I'll link it down below, but in that post I said that I preferred the Benefit version and that it was way better, and I would always use that one and not use this one. And I've completely changed my mind. The Benefit takes ages and ages and ages to get all the excess product off, because the brush gets so much on it and you get little clumps in your brows, and it's really not very attractive. But this one is a much thinner texture, and it still does the same job. It still fills in your brows and makes them a lot darker, sets them in place beautifully, but without all these weird little clumps, and it's so fast. And this month, or the last few months, I've been really busy with work and I've been getting up a lot later, which means I often have less time to do my makeup, and if I do have the time I would rather spend it doing like a nice smoky eye or a nice liner than spending ages filling it in my brows. I don't know, some people love brows, I find them really boring to do and I often just lose interest in them. So this has been a lifesaver because you can just go swipe and go, and it's amazing. And yeah, if you're looking at getting the Benefit Gimme Brow, or if you have the Benefit Gimme Brow and have the same trouble with it that I do, then try this one. It's really great. And that is the end of my January and February favourites. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your favourites for the month. If you've done a video, then link that. I would love to see it. Let's just have a chat in the comments. Let's be friends. I would love to be YouTube friends with you. Join me on all the social media platforms that there are. They're all going to be linked down below. So yeah, I hope you have had a wonderful January and February, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!